Good afternoon. My name is Craig Filar. I'm the Director of the Office of National Fellowships, and on behalf of Jesse Whelan, our Associate Director, and Bonnie Garcia-Gluckner, our Assistant Director, and Christine Perry, Graduate Assistant, I'd like to welcome you to our Spring 2020 Public Service Fellowships Workshop. Today, what we'll do is a quick overview of several different fellowships that the Office of National Fellowships supports our students and applications towards that will be due sometime in the next year. The majority of these will be due in late fall 2022 or early spring 2023, although there are a few that are due early in the fall 2022. So the timing is going to be a little bit different in each of these. But as we go through each of the awards, I will highlight a few things. First being the award itself and what they're looking for in candidates in their application pool. A little bit about the timeline, and then we will end up with a little bit about how the Office of National Fellowships can support you in one of these or any of the other applications and programs that we support in our office. So let's get started. The first one is a Harry S. Truman Scholarship. This is an award that has been around for over 40 years now that will offer you up to $30,000 of support towards graduate education for students who want to go into public service. Now, public service is going to be very broadly defined for the Truman. It's not necessarily government work, but it certainly includes government work. When it says $30,000 in support of graduate studies, that could be in a graduate degree, it could be towards law school, it can be towards medical school, as long as your career is pointing towards serving the public good. And you can see there in the second bullet point where it says some of the different sectors that you can work in. So you can work in advocacy, nonprofit, government, of course, education, or elsewhere in public service. And it's really open to your connecting your passion, your path to how it betters the public good. And it can occur on the local level, the state level, the national level, or the international level. To be eligible for this, you need to be a US citizen, and you have to have junior level standing, which for Truman means third year in college. And so with the majority of these awards, when you see eligibility being junior level or senior level, sophomore level, they're speaking about year in school more often than not the number of credits that you have. We know that so many of you are bringing in credits today, and you might be in your second year and thinking, oh, I'm a junior this year, and I may have missed the window. That's absolutely not correct. If you're in your second year right now at the end of spring 2022 and are headed into what would be your traditional junior or third year, regardless of where your credits are, you will generally be eligible for the Truman Scholarship in that year. This application is due in February 2023. There's not a strict GPA requirement with this, although they do want strong academics, but it's also balanced with strong leadership and service experiences through your time here at the university. Next, we have Humanity in Action. So this is a summer program, and it is a month-long intensive experience that can happen both domestically and internationally. You see some of the cities here listed, and it focuses on human rights. The one in Atlanta focused on civil rights, flip sides of the same coin. And they're looking for students in all majors who want to work in issues of human rights and civil rights, talking about past issues with them and how they are focused on today and making changes in them in terms of citizenship, human rights, and diversity across the global spectrum. And it has a follow-on project of an action project, which is really cool. And they're looking, again, for students from all majors. So you don't necessarily have to be studying in the social sciences. You can come from the arts, you can come from STEM, you can come from communication, you can even come from business, as long as you have an interest in human rights and really the application of your discipline to bring about change in this area. Here, you can be a student of any level or even a recent graduate, as long as you've completed at least 1 year of school. So for those of you that are watching today, to apply for next year, for summer of 2023, you should all be eligible. The only time you wouldn't be eligible is in your very first year of study for the summer that precedes. And so these applications are due in early January each year. And if you're interested, we would start working on this application usually in early November. They send us the materials for the application, which each year involve either reading or viewing a particular document or video. Then they ask you some specific questions about that are thematically related to international or domestic human rights. All right. So the Pickering, Payne, and Rangel graduate fellowships, these will all three or each of them will fund 2 years master's degrees program in international affairs or related disciplines. They also offer summer internships, direct mentorship from foreign service officers, and for Pickering and Payne, for Pickering and Rangel, direct entry into the Department of State, and for Payne, direct entry into USAID, all into the foreign service. So you will, of course, apply for these in your senior year as you're heading to graduate school, or as a recent alumni as you're headed to graduate school. The Rangel and the Pickering graduate fellowships, those are due in late September for starting graduate school the following year. And so again, if you're looking to go into the State Department to become a diplomat or a foreign service officer, these awards are perfect for you. And then Payne is usually due in mid-November, and that's for folks who want to go into working for USAID on a little bit more of the engaged service side of international diplomacy and service. There is also a program called the Rangel Summer Enrichment Program. That is for younger students in their second or third years. You have to be at least sophomore standing. And again, remember in this case, sophomore means second year, not necessarily number of credit hours. And you need to apply for the summer program that will take you to DC to work with folks at Howard University on international affairs coursework and engagement experiences. All right, moving on. So the Goldwater Institute has a relatively new program called the Ronald Reagan Fellowships Internship Program. And this is for folks that want to go into public policy research. The really cool thing here, very laser focused for people who have very specific interests. You can do two cool things here. One is they do internships fall, spring, and summer. So it's at least every semester you have the opportunity for this. They want you to be working 24 hours a week or 3 out of your 5-day, 40-hour week. And you can see here that they have 3 different departments that they'll place you in. You can either work in the area of policy, in the area of communication, or in special events and fundraising. And they do let you indicate your preference in the application. Here you have to be a college junior or senior. You can be a graduate student or a recent alumni. And as I mentioned before, it's at least 3 full days a week of work. And they want students who are interested in public policy work and the free enterprise system. You can see here, depending on which semester you're looking at, that it is due for fall in August, spring in December, summer in March. It's usually about a month and a half before you would actually start the internship program. All right, moving on. Next, Florida Gubernatorial Fellowship. So the other 3 that we mentioned, or sets of 3 that we mentioned, have all been national in scope. You can see here from the name of this award that this is for students in the state of Florida to work at the state level in a gubernatorial fellowship. This is a nonpartisan program that's been around for over 10, almost 15 years now, where they're looking for Florida university students from both public and private universities that are interested in learning about and being involved with state government across the different agencies that they have. And as a fellow, as a Goop fellow, you will actually get to participate very closely with leaders across the state and have a very engaged and intense internship with one of the departments in the state government system. They also will pay you an hourly wage, and they also will provide tuition assistance. And so you can see here you have to be enrolled as a full-time graduate student or senior or junior level undergraduates at a Florida institution. So if you're one of our Florida State students, you would certainly qualify. And this application is usually due in early February and followed by a multi-tier interview process for the fellows to be named, usually around this time of year, which means nothing to you on the internet, but it is actually right at the end of March for those of you following along at home. Another summer program is the Public Policy and International Affairs Fellowship. This is a program, if you recall, like the Truman, where you must be in your junior year to apply. And so again, junior year here means in your 3rd year of 4, could possibly be 3rd year of 3. And the Public Policy and International Affairs, or PPIA Fellowship, will give you program assistance and engagement for a summer program. There are 5 at the moment, institutes, and one of them is at Carnegie Mellon, one's at UC Berkeley, one's at Princeton, there's one at Michigan, and there's one at Minnesota. They want students who are interested in pursuing careers in government or nonprofit work, that want to work either in public policy domestically or in international ways. And they really want to have a diversity of perspectives, different people bringing their unique and diverse perspectives to discussions and and engagements around public policy and international affairs. This application is usually due in early November. You do have to be a U.S. citizen here. And again, they want you to be in your third year with a graduation date sometime in that range there. So a fall or a fall, spring, or summer graduation date a year out. And these are due in early November. Okay, so that was a very quick overview of the major awards that we work with public policy and international affairs, other service-related areas, and how we can help in ONF. Well, we will certainly help with the application. You can see in just that brief overview, there's a lot of minute pieces about each application, and that can vary in terms of deadline, in terms of who is going to write your recommendations, the types of materials you need to submit, be they personal reflections, thought pieces about sort of different ideas that they're providing, or even in some cases, research experience papers that you might have to submit. And so we can work with you on all of these pieces. We can talk to you about who the best referees or recommenders are going to be for each of the applications, depending on what they're asking for. We will critique your essays. We'll work with you. We'll workshop them so that they'll be in the best possible shape so that you're advocating for yourself as strongly as possible. When necessary, we can connect you with resources in terms of how to write better for this type of writing. In some cases, we can provide sample essays. And we definitely have writing workshops for you, particularly around personal statements and how to write about yourself in the most effective manner. And then if there's questions that you have that we don't know the answers for, we will work with you to connect you to people on the foundation side who can help you with your specific cases. We know the generals about most of these awards, but we are never surprised when a student asks us a question that we don't necessarily know the answer to right off the top of our head. And even though I've been doing this for over 10 years, I still get questions that will stump me. But luckily, we have the connections to help get those answers for you so that we can ensure that you are moving forward with your application in a very effective manner. So here's our contact information. If you're interested in getting in touch with us, email and phone are both okay. You can see me there in the top left. There we go. And then, of course, Jesse, Bonnie, and Christine also who work with us in our office. So I'd like to see if we have any questions from the folks in the chat. If not, great. I want to thank everybody for coming today. And if you have any questions, certainly reach out. It's been a pleasure. Again, my name is Dr. Craig Filar and I work for the Office of National Fellowships at Florida State University.